finally, we are here. We've had our discovery call, we've done our analysis, we've done our traffic projections, and we've done our pricing. Now it's time to compile these all into a single document, aka a proposal. Now we're going to give you a template. I'm also going to show you a couple of different examples of Webriss proposals, one that are 12-month, then ones that are using our sprints, and just showing you how we're compiling all this information into a nice clean document that can be shipped to the prospect and discussed over the follow-up call. So let's take a look at some of the examples. Just want to take a quick moment and run you through the proposal template that we're giving you. This is very easy to edit. It gives you all the pages that you need. You just need to compile it and design it in a way that's going to match your brand. So the first thing that we want to do is just include a summary. Here we want to really cover the things that we've already talked about. Make sure we're citing our discussions from the discovery call. Again, pulling forward any thoughts, any goals, anything that they told us that really should be included. We want to address that here. So let's just discuss, everything that we found to date. And then after that, we're going to go into campaign goals. So just very clearly state out exactly what the goal of working and engaging with your agency is and what you will be driving towards every single month as they work with you. After that, you can go right into the analysis. So this is just, where you can kind of paste in your top 10. So take it from the Word document. You can literally just kind of paste in exactly what you found. And then I usually like to add in a little screenshot to illustrate that. And I'll show you, actually, here's a good example. So this is one from a really old proposal for Webriss. This is just talking about how their keyword targeting was off. We just pasted in the finding here, and then we took some screenshots and just dropped them in here to help illustrate. It also just makes the proposal look really nice and really clean. So after you go through all of your top 10 findings, right? Let's say you have 6, you want to put all your 6 findings in here, make them look nice. Then you're going to go into your solution. So there's a couple of ways that you can do this. So you can either just put in your deliverables, a slide for each deliverable. You can put in, like we put in our sprints here, which is where we start to address what a sprint is. But basically what you want to do is you just want to put in, this is what we found. This is what we're proposing as the solution, which again is going to be your services, your offerings, your deliverables, whatever you want to put here. It's completely up to you. Here's an example. This one is about, how about we found a bunch of issues with our analytics. So what's the solution? We're going to do an analytics audit, and then we're going to run the implementation and make sure everything's fixed up. Here's everything that will be included within the scope of that piece of work. So again, you're going to list out all your findings, then you're going to list out all your solutions and deliverables, and then you can get into pricing, right? So we talked about this before, summary of what we talked about, your goals, issues and opportunities that we found, solutions for those. Now we're going to talk about how much they cost. So there's a couple ways you can really break this down here. If you're just on your hourly rate, the simplest way to do it is just to kind of drop in again that bucket that we talked about in pricing, your rate, and then the cost. Again, you can also remove your rate. You can remove the buckets. You can just display this by month. There's a bunch of different ways to display this. I'll show you how we're doing it in our proposals. But again, it's really just, this is what you're getting, this is how much it costs, and then also when you can expect it, which we'll talk about in a second. The other thing that you're going to want to put in here too is any costs that are not included in your retainer. So we've talked about this before. Our agency does not write content. So we always put that in here in big, bold letters. We do not write content. You are getting a content brief. And then again, this is why it's so important to have the follow-up call with them to run them through so they understand that. But you have to put it in writing here. We don't write content. So, you can expect a budget extra to get content written or have somebody internally do it. There's also a link expense, right? We've talked about this before. It's really not a good idea to just include links into your cost and just try and baseline them and pay out of the retainer for links. It gets very messy. Then you end up making decisions that are not what's best for the client. You end up skimping on links or taking crappier links just to preserve your margins. So instead, use the strategies that we talked about. Either charge a retainer cost for your time to manage it, right? So a couple hours a month to do the outreach, the management, etc., and then charging them an expense fee whenever there's an additional cost. So like cost for guest posting, content writing, sponsorship fee. You want to make sure you're charging the client for that. So we just put that in here. And of course, also, we just want to put in the total cost and kind of the scope of the agreement here as well. So after that, we want to go into some sort of timeline. Again, this is just kind of a template. What I would suggest doing is literally just copying and pasting from Excel into here your pricing template. So when we went through that, you can just literally copy and paste that in, take a screenshot in. So they see, again, every initiative and when you'll be doing that. The other thing that's, of course, key here too is just putting in some sort of expected traffic increase. Again, I'll show you how we're doing that. You have the traffic projection tool. You can either take a screenshot of the results in that, paste it in here, or copy and paste in your results from the manual analysis in Ahrefs, which I'll show you in our proposals. Then, of course, just kind of past results, clients that we've helped. If you want to put in a slide about the team, and that's pretty much it. So this is a template that you can work off of just to get you started. Now let's jump into what a 12-month proposal for our agency looks like. So this is, again, an exact proposal from our agency Webriss. Just goes into the table of contents. goes into the analysis, right? Here's a summary of what we found. You can see how we blew this out. And again, I'm going to leave you this proposal so you can read it on your own time. Then it goes into the opportunities. Here's a summary of all the things that we found: low-hanging fruit, on-page SEO, internal linking, new content strategy, target link acquisition, etc. So this is our top 10 here, where it says opportunities. Then our solutions. This is where we just pitch straight up kind of like what you're getting. So these deliverables: analytics review, marketing strategy, website quality audit, keyword research, on-page opportunities, improvements, content creation, content strategy, and then link acquisition. So again, this just kind of reviews everything in detail. And we also link out to what sample deliverables look like. So we'll just kind of make a copy or send them a template for them to look at, exactly what they're getting for that. That kind of helps for conversions too, and just convincing them, showing them the quality of work. We're giving you all these amazing deliverable templates here in the blueprint. Feel free to put them to work in your sales process as well. You're not giving them anything because they're not going to do it. They're not going to do their own keyword research. They're not going to do their own website quality audit. So it's a really great opportunity for you to showcase, again, opportunities. Here's how we'll fix it. Here's what it's going to cost, and here's what it's actually going to look like, so you can see the beauty and the context and the quality of our deliverables. So again, after that, we just get into pricing here. So this is what I was talking about and referring to in terms of just copy and pasting in. This is literally just a screenshot of the pricing template. So you just take a screenshot, dump it in here, and then we'll also link out to it from here so they can take a look at it in a much deeper view and see exactly, again, kind of like the full breakdown over 12 months. What we've also done here too, our sales team sometimes for our deeper proposals will put together a little Loom video, which we'll link to, and then we'll also send it to them in the email just for them to review. We've also kind of honestly moved off of these a little bit because we're doing a lot more follow-up sales calls. That's a really core part of our process. So this is just kind of like a nice adding feature on the cake. We'll also use videos in terms of follow-up sequences after we have a proposal, after we have the call, and we're waiting to get a decision from them. We'll send them a little Loom video just checking in, ask them if we can answer any more questions for them. So that's the pricing. Then we'll go into the projected results. So this here is all done using our manual projection in Ahrefs. So literally just creating a little chart here. This is literally just a table in slides here, and we'll just kind of paste in what the estimated growth is for 6 months, 9 months, and then 12 months. So we're all giving them just different growth scenarios over time so they can see how it is, and then just lay it out cleanly here. Very straightforward. You can see, again, this is nothing too crazy, but it does help to illustrate, again, this is what you can expect from working with us. And then after that, we just go into a whole bunch of screenshot case studies that we have, and then kind of some other little selling points from working with our agency. And then we just end it with some references that they can contact if they'd like. So that's how we do our 12-month proposals, is a sprint proposal. So a lot of it is going to be the exact same, right? The analysis, same thing. The biggest difference here is just a solution slide. So this is where we just talk about our sprints as opposed to deliverables and everything that's included in the sprints. So sprint 1, strategy sprint; sprint 2, content sprint; sprint 3, link acquisition sprint. Again, I'm gonna leave you links so you can read through this on your own time. So very simple. You can see how we clean that up. We didn't want to overload them with all these slides. We just kind of wanted to get to the point and consolidate that a little bit more, and then have discussions around what we're actually pitching them on the follow-up call. Pricing, again, a little bit different of a look here because it's not necessarily over a 12-month period. So he just kind of listed out here the recommended sprints. Here's the strategy sprint, content sprint, link sprint, the scope of it, the price of it, and then the completion date of it as well. So you can see here we're covering all the main things. What is it? What's included in it? How much does it cost? And when can I expect it to be done? And then we'll also just copy and paste in again on this time period chart here. This is literally the exact same screenshot of the exact same deck that the exact same spreadsheet that I showed you in the pricing video, the one before this. You can take another look at that. Again, we just literally copied and pasted this so they can see exactly what it looks like. And then what he does too is he breaks down these different growth scenarios, because what we want to do from a sprint point of view is not just sell them one sprint. We want to sell them on kind of a long-term sprint plan. So he's showing them the projected results from a 6-month plan. So here's a 6-month sprint plan. This is everything that's included. This is what it costs. These are the projected results. Here's a 9-month sprint plan. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more over a longer period of time, but the growth is going to be bigger as well. And then what we really want to sell them into, of course, again, we don't do 12-month contracts per se, but this is also how we're then massaging longer work and getting more out of our pitches and continuously getting more revenue as well. 12-month plan and then the projected results. And always what ends up happening here is when you do these kind of different scenarios, what ends up happening is that they see it's like, oh, damn, this one's 42, but this one's 17. Okay, we'll do the 17. We're going to take 20 grand in revenue all day. And because especially too, because we know once we get in the foot in the door with them and do good work, then we're eventually going to get them here. But it's just a much lower, easier decision point for them to just, sign up right after the call and be like, okay, that seems very fair, seems very reasonable, let's do it. And then same thing here, just goes into the exact same templated slides in terms of kind of like answering the why work with us and also past results. So that's it. That's all we do for a proposal. It's really just a matter of compiling things. You now have everything that you need to create and close very high ticket, high value proposals. If you guys have any questions, as always, hit us up in Slack. We're standing by, and I'll see you in the next videos.